Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Football Talk. I have Adil with me today. Finally, he has appeared after a long break. Seems to missing us. Huh? How are
Yeah,
you?
yeah, really good. Busy times, so really tough to. But I'm sure
So what you're saying? The Real Football Talk doesn't get priority?
it does. But I think
Huh?
leaving in good hands, isn't it?
No. Yeah, that's what you're saying, and the Real Football Talk doesn't get any priority, eh?
You know,
Calling you out, I'm calling you out, just like you call out all the managers and players. I'm calling you out for it.
leave it to the experts, isn't it?
Oh man. But yeah, today what we'll be discussing a bit of England, what's happened in the international break. We'll also look into the Sancho story that's come out. And also again in Manchester about Antony. Just seems to be everything in Manchester. And then finishing up with a bit of prediction for the weekend's games coming up. So let's get started. England, I mean, two games. One for the qualifiers for the European Championship, and the other is a friendly against Scotland. What did you make of the two games? I mean, obviously drawing the first and winning the second.
Yeah, but it was played the other way around. The first game was played like a friendly, and the second game was played with like it was a qualifier. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean the Ukraine performance, really was a real stellar performance for me. It lacked the tempo, the urgency, and yeah, I wasn't too impressed with England, to be honest with you. But definitely against Scotland, really was.
Especially first half.
Yeah, I mean they played at such a high tempo. They're really pumped up. You could tell they wanted to, you know, they were actually going for like the kill. They wanted to give a thrashing.
Mm.
Um, they weren't satisfied just being 2-0 up at halftime. They wanted more.
They
Uh,
wanted more, but then they bring on Harry Maguire.
yeah, I mean, obviously that Southgate, he's really trying to manufacture and build Maguire's status within the England team and his confidence and keep his fitness levels up. But yeah, I mean the own goal was ridiculous and no threat around him. It's just poor. But the game changed. The game changed. It's like such a negativity when he came on
Yeah.
that it gave Scotland hope. It gave the fans hope. The England fans.
The
The,
Scotland fans were cheering
yeah,
when they
the
saw Harry Maguire come on.
whole atmosphere changed, and you can't help but feel for him because when that own goal happens, you just think, oh, that's just sad. It's because no matter what, he's not a bad character, he's not a bad person. No,
No, he's not. He's not. No,
there's
definitely not.
players who kind of ask for it. He said he's tried just.
Well, he's kind of asked for it. He's one of those. We went to a Greek island or something. He's telling them, "Do you know who I am?" and stuff, blah blah blah. So like, he's like,
That I think that's sort
got it
of,
in him.
but you can tell that's not how he goes on a daily. It's just he's being exposed for his lack of pace and the modern style of football of having to push up the pitch, and the confidence is gone. So every little mistake he makes does
Yeah, but
end leading to
I
an
did.
goal or
I
an own goal.
I completely get you. Your confidence is gone and everything is gone. I completely understand, right? But then it's not like the other two defenders that were playing. Obviously, this was a friendly game, right? You gave other two defenders a chance. There is no news of an injury. So why take the guy off at 45th minute when you're dominating the game? Scotland had nothing really, pretty much. We're doing well. Why at 45th minute you put on Maguire? I don't know. It's just like Southgate is just asking for it. That's what it seems like. He's asking for it. Because if you look at it, he takes off in the game previously. He takes off Bellingham. He takes off someone else. I can't remember. But he leaves Henderson on. It's a qualifier. We need to go for a win. So I'm like, why leave Henderson on when you got someone like Bellingham who's ripping everything up, left, right, center, who's been on fire for Real Madrid, getting last minute winners, who could do that drive from a bit more deeper. Why take him off? Put someone like Madison, Foden in the 10 or whoever. But again, he makes those decisions and he changes the game.
Yeah, obviously his favoritism, and he's trying to, like I said, he's trying to um, create a positive scenario where the competition doesn't outdo who his favorites. So why did he bring Maguire in? He brought Maguire in because if it was a shutout and if it was a complete confidence performance, then obviously the the clamour for Maguire to be dropped will be bigger. So I think he saw it as an opportunity to play politics, kind of quell any promotion of, I think, was it Guehi who started ahead of him?
Go here and dunk.
Yeah, so to kind of just keep them on that mode where they're still inexperienced, to trust them for important qualifiers. So he's obviously manufacturing a situation where the players and the fans and everyone knows Henderson and Maguire are the first choice, and that there isn't that much of a push or valid push other than a
What
personal opinion. So
the exact opposite has happened here.
yeah, I mean that's the thing. The fan backlash, the own goal. Yeah,
Even the first game, the goal for Ukraine. I mean, he's marking Mark Gui.
yeah.
Let's be honest.
Not his man. Yeah.
Uh,
So I think obviously the problem is, everyone knows the problem is, once the fans get on your back and then the manager starts becoming stubborn with it, it's a recipe for disaster, because fans will end up turning on Southgate, which is already starting to happen because of just the fact that he's been in the position for quite a few years. It did feel like the team was starting to stunt in its progress, and I think this game against Scotland really excited, really started to show. And why? Because it was a friendly. He actually played the
yeah,
players and the lineups that everyone's. He played without being so safe in his selection, and it showed in the enjoyment and the tempo and the intensity the England players played at. It was
yeah.
really exciting, really creative football. Every time they attacked, they looked like they were going to cut through Scotland. So yeah, it's the first time in a long time I actually enjoyed the performance.
Do you know what the funny thing is? Like, the pressure's building on him. I think the pressure's been building on him since the last tournament where against France. I think after we went out, I think it's been building on him, and then he's consistently doing this thing of picking players without. And this is the reason what we criticized previously of other managers, where they don't pick players who are on form, and picking players based on either repetition or based on favoritism, right? And this is something that we complained about. So and it was something we applauded for Gareth Southgate, was he wasn't doing that when he came in. He was picking people based on form, based on performance. That's what he was doing. And now he seems like he's gone back to that thing of well, not now. He's been doing it for a while now. But the other question is like, if you're a player, so say for instance, if you're Tomori, who is playing Champions League football for AC Milan and is doing well, and you see someone who's playing no game whatsoever for Man United, even when their first two centre backs are not available, you're getting Luke Shaw, who's the left back, playing in front of you, and you're not getting picked. Surely that demotivates you. That doesn't engage you anymore in that squad. That harmony in the squad isn't that great, because you're seeing clear favoritism here. Because if I was a player, and if I was, say, for the playing under you, which has happened, that would cause a massive issue, because I'm like, it's clear to see, right?
Yes. Well, I think that's why Southgate's a bit desperate to not create a situation where ask more questions of their position, and in that desperation, he's ended up making the situation worse. I think the issue I have with it, because in general, Maguire's performances I thought in the World Cup was quite positive.
It was good,
But
yes.
at key moments, he was the best. I thought he was in terms of performance, he was the better one. But the problem is there is a step up that he keeps getting exposed against, and that's the problem. Is he against better teams? He always is a step too slow, a yard off the pace. Always looks a bit lost. Slightly a team has a bit more movement around him,
or a bit more organized team, or someone who can play a bit more is always in trouble, and that we've seen it.
and the thing is, what's causing him problems is the area where he's weakest at, which is judging when to step in and judging the runs in behind. Now, obviously, Tomori, Guehi, all of them have more pace, so they can handle that problem. Now, you can understand if you're playing against lower ranked team who might lump it up the pitch and you're playing against a big target man. Without doubt, Bayer is still the best when it comes to a team trying to play direct football, but that's not who they're playing. They're playing technical teams. Teams are playing the ball in the ground, good movement, and he keeps getting exposed. So, yeah, it's causing more and more issues. And I think, Southgate's getting desperate to try and keep. And we said it, in the Euro finals. We said it in the last tournament. This team is ready to win something. The biggest problem is Southgate's in-game tactics isn't good enough.
Right.
When Plan A don't work, he doesn't seem to. Why? And that whole problem with not having a good Plan B. The biggest problem with that is because he's too loyal to Plan A and he's too loyal to the players of Plan A.
Yep.
It's more about the players than it is about winning, than it is about getting the result. And he's got a big conundrum now because everyone prefers England when Foden plays. He tried even killing that debate before he started by saying even Pep would.
He's not a number 10, isn't he?
Funny thing is, he just played him in that position in the big games recently, so kind of contradicted the statement. And yeah, he's got a big headache on his hand because what is he gonna do when his other favorite that everyone gets annoyed with, who always starts, Mason Mount, becomes available again? Because when you look at that, you got Foden, you got Maddison, you got Bellingham, who now is the main man. He was the stand-up performer in the World Cup.
Yep.
Is the stand-up performer against Ukraine, stand-out against Scotland, stand-out in La Liga.
Listen,
He is on Ballon d'Or form currently.
He's
this. If he maintains this level, he's doing stats and affecting games the way only we've seen Messi and Ronaldo do on a consistent basis. And obviously sample size is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
But you can only call what you see. And the reality is there a player influencing matches? Right, he's got the stats, but take away the goals, take away assists, take away the creativity, the dribbles, the tackles, the physicality. Take all. He is the most influential player in every game. Whether it's Bundesliga, whether it's for the national team, he is the de facto standout player in every game he plays.
But it's not even that. It's the character he brings. You can see there's a real, old type, that character of just, willing to win by doing anything it takes. And you can see that in him. It's just like all of a sudden he's gone to Madrid and he's become this superior winner that Madrid always have. And that's what he's become, because if you look at his performances in Madrid, he's scoring key goals to win games, not just anything, win games or make it a draw. And it's not just impacting through that, he's assisting or his performance. even if you look at the England game, the goal for who was it? Who scored the
For Kane,
Harry Kane? I mean, runs through three people, pass. I mean, makes it look so easy. Even if you look at his own goal, he's the one that creates it. The cross for from Foden, he's the one that creates that chance, and then he goes off and finishes it. Like,
no,
do you know what I mean? It's crazy.
I think what one thing, if we talk about the development of Bellingham, what is clear is there was a lot of reports coming out from Dortmund about his attitude, his arrogance. A lot of the players didn't like it, and what they didn't get was this is a player that has such a winning mentality. He's outgrown the mindset of the club. The club are happy to be second fiddle to Bayern Munich. His mentality nearly took him to the stage where they should have won the title, but he was injured on the last game.
Yeah.
He was the guy who the driving force behind that run to even be, ahead on the last game of the season. So he's outgrown that the club. Dortmund is settled in their position. He's not settled for that. Now he's gone to a club which matches his ambition, that is now giving him the platform to showcase his mentality, his talent, and he's thriving under it, and he's learning more and he's absorbing more, and how can you not learn from players like Modric?
Yeah.
Serial winners, and the thing is, you look at Bellingham's style, the way he plays, the way he links up, the way he brings players into the game, the way he runs up, his timing of runs in behind, and you just think Benzema would have loved playing with Bellingham. Absolutely loved it. You can see that link up would have been crazy.
Could you imagine? I mean, already the link up is crazy between him, Rodrigo, and Vinicius when he was playing. But could you imagine just him just behind Benzema and Benzema having him, Rodrigo, and Vinicius running through? I mean, who's stopping that?
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. They can't play him as a 10 because he works so damn hard. He comes back into midfield, and then when the dominant position, sometimes he's the last man. As soon as Vinicius or Rodrigo come in quick, so he's spinning in behind. And the reason why it worked so well was because we've criticized Southgate, and it's not about, if there was anything I could praise Southgate for, he actually played Bellingham in the position where he's performing for Real Madrid, and it was very similar system because we all know how good Kane is as a false nine and creating those spaces and going in, overloading in the non-central zone. So it allowed Bellingham to make those runs in behind and the timings, and but again, he finally has a platform to show his mentality, and he's at a club where it is all about winning, and he's shining under it, and it's impressive to see the way he's leading this England squad, England team. He's the main player now. He's the main guy of England.
Yeah. I mean, given the captain's armband already. But what I was gonna say, but that should also push like someone like Harry Kane, that I've got this guy who can do what I'm doing. Let me stay on the last one. Let me just finish everything off, because that's the stage we need to get to, because that's always been my criticism for Harry Kane, because he drops too much. And I think he's slightly doing that in Bayern Munich. I don't know how many games he's watched. He's staying further up the pitch for Bayern Munich. Because he knows he's got good enough players that will find him every single time, because those guys ain't gonna take that thing of, oh, I'm in Tottenham and I have to do everything for myself.
Yeah, and the thing is, they are dominating possession, so he's not having to create those, the space. They got players able to do it by beating their man, which he's never really had the luxury of that much. So, yeah, I mean, I think that lineup, maybe you could question, whether really goes in ahead of Maddison, but that is the lineup that most people want to see in terms of the front four. I mean, Saka and Foden, that's a tough, tough choice. For me,
it's easy.
yeah, possibly for me anyway. I'll just say Foden is a generational talent.
It's a generation talent, but every single World Cup, European Championship, Saka's the one that performed and took it. So
No, there's no denying Saka's you know, it's gonna give
generational talent,
always
but
a
Saka's the
7
one
or 8
performing.
out of 10. But you know, if you want to get if you want to see, if you
He's
want to
he's,
see, if
he's
you want
winning.
to
He's winning. Adu, he's winning games. It's not like he's not effective. He's either assisting, scoring key goals for them every single time.
like I said, I don't. When it comes down to it, at the end of the day, big games, Foden will make a big difference. Foden's got winning mentality. For me, there is a different level with Foden. I'm not saying Saka doesn't. He's amazing. He's world class, but you know England are that lucky in the sense that they have that many good young players
Yeah,
coming through.
yeah.
It is a tough way.
Do you know?
You're
Do
not
you
going
know
to
that?
complain about any of those decisions, but for me, Foden is a generational talent,
Do,
like Bellingham.
do you know
That-
the? Do you know the only position I would say we're lacking in is centre back.
But the thing is, like you said, they're not helping themselves in that
Oh,
position because they aren't allowing players to
to
excel in
grow
that position. Then Tomori, you know, won the league with
AC Milan.
and couple of his performances in the Champions League was standout. He was like a one-man defense.
But you look at the game against Tottenham last year.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You look at that and you just think, would France like not play Saliba? It's similar style, the way they played, especially when you look at that Tottenham game, the way Tomori played, it reminded me of the way Saliba plays and reading everything, sweeping everything, but also being physical enough on the challenge. And you just think, okay, how is this guy not playing?
Yeah, yeah.
But again, we don't know how good some of the defenders can be because they're not being given the opportunity.
100%. The platform's not there. Let's move on to other matters from international stages. Obviously, oh, by the way, Hansi Flick got sacked for Germany after getting thrashed by Japan. He's been awful since joining them.
Yeah, he's never quite got to grips with it. I think he tried just replicating the success he's had with Bayern.
Yeah.
With the German, but at the end of the day, he just does not have the midfielders and the defenders to get away with that crazy over-attacking style of football. Nicholas Soul and they're no match for.
And I mean, nor do they have Lewandowski up front
I think that's the key thing as well.
because they're not finishing chances. I do.
Is Lewandowski while he was at Bayern Munich made the difference and was such a good player that he made all the difference, and not having that creative false nine or striker who can do everything and link up all the talent around him. Yeah, definitely that's the other key thing. But I think look, that brand of football, gun ho, over positive, have no worries about
Definitely.
respecting what the opposition can do. That's long gone. That recipe failed. Already, and surprised he didn't tweak. So he's kind of shown his naivety.
Yeah. Let's move on. Move on to Manchester. I mean, obviously, we had the game in the last weekend, and then in the press conference, Eric Ten Hag was asked about Sancho, why he wasn't involved, and he said it was because of his performance in training wasn't good enough, so that's why he left him out. And then obviously Sancho came out and he said that wasn't true, and his performance has been good. He self-proclaimed. at training, and he thinks he's been better than some of the players that have been picked, and he should have been picked ahead of them. What's your take on it?
Yeah, I mean it's clear. Sanchez and his entourage have, and it's been an accusation in the background going along for a long time, which is he goes on like he's bigger than the club. So he demanding to play certain positions, demanding certain things. Every time he comes on, he gives the ball away so many times. Every 50-50, he he loses. He doesn't go in for the tackle. He does that thing which I hate, which kind of Rashford does as well, fake pressing, where once the player's gone past you, he does a little bit of a sprint, but he's affecting nothing in the
Yeah,
game.
yeah.
So, but it has, he has been better than last season as well. So can't say, but there's a standard if you want to reach, challenging City, then everybody knows there's a higher standard. There's a standard to which the City players are playing to and adhering to, that you have to match. You have to raise those standards. Sancho hasn't shown that, even though he has all the ability in the world. It does always look like the Premier League is too fast for him. It always looks like he's too slow on the tempo. He's still not used to someone crunching him on his first touch. You think a quality player like him, with the
Should be,
skill
yeah,
set that he got, you would think he would absolutely make a meal out of these defenders, and these midfielders would just dive in on the first touch. But he's never ready for it. He's never ready for that first touch. He's never ready for someone coming in and trying to win that ball. He's just gone too comfortable playing a slower tempo, less physical style of football. And I'm not going to write him off as a player. I still think he's an amazing player, amazing talent. But maybe the attitude that he's been allowed to get away with that United hasn't helped him get used to the tempo of the Premier League.
There's a couple of things I want to get to. Obviously, let's look at from two perspectives, from a coach's perspective and then a player's perspective. So from Ten Hag's perspective, do you think it was the right thing to do? Maybe coming out to the media and calling it out as it is, to expose Sancho why he wasn't picked, because obviously then you're kind of throwing him under the bus. After maybe, say for instance, doing all the things that he's done behind, as in sending him to Holland for extra training, giving him the time off to obviously refresh, re-energize, get his mental well-being or mental state to the level that is required. He's done pretty much everything, and then obviously kind of like throws him under the bus. Do you think that's the right approach?
I think it's more down to the question. At the end of the day, the reports asked him the question about Sancho. It's not the way it's being made out, like Ten Hag gave that information out for no reason. He got asked the question and he answered it honestly. When he wants to, he will be ruthless. At the end of the day, he is a manager who wants to coach the team, develop the team. He's not someone, he's not afraid of the club. He's not afraid of the size of the club. So he's not a manager you want to take on. As much as he's got man management skills, he'll work with you. If you don't follow instructions, there's only one way to go. There's only one way it's ending, and that's at the club. So I don't think he's done anything major. It's Sancho who's made this into a big deal. He could have taken the message, and let's be honest, everyone's going on like Ferguson would never do this. He did do similar things.
Yeah.
Might not say it as, but he would put pressure or give indirect messages to players all the time in press conferences. Every single time there was rumors about gigs, and and it's all about keeping those players on their toes. So I don't see it as something so major that Ten Hag done wrong. His performances haven't been good enough. You got Palestri and all these other youngsters more hungry, Garnacho more hungry for the shirt. And if you look at the game, Sancho's played, his effort against, um, who was it the game before where he took so long to close down.
Yeah,
Uh,
I can't remember now. It's gone out of my head.
you know, you can't have.
Tottenham. Was it Tottenham?
Yeah, it was Tottenham. It was Tottenham. Yeah, I mean, you can't have that type of effort. You can't have that type of effort. So I just think, yeah, it's run its course. It's a
Mm,
shame because I think he's an amazing player. I think in the right club at the right circumstances, he's. I still think he's a superstar.
yeah, and then obviously my other side of the angle from a player's perspective. I mean, if you're looking at it, you calling out your manager out in the press like that, after what he's done for you, as in and the opportunities he's given to you, surely you're pretty much writing your name on the wall in terms of the exit list by doing that. You've already resigned to the fact that you're probably going to be gone.
Look, the facts are this: Ten Hag has answered the question honestly at a time when United aren't performing that good.
No,
They've lost their two key games, away games. Yeah. And then Sancho has responded at a time when he's just not in the picture, just not performing well enough to talk like that. So it is unnecessary, but I like the fact that Ten Hag is a manager who doesn't matter about whether the club's doing well or not, whether he's not afraid of getting sacked or any pressure on him. He will stick to the standards and the principles that's got him successful. I always have confidence in managers like that because if you get Sancho out, you're going to get an extra 10% of every one of those players because they're going to know there is no untouchables.
mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And we've seen, Pep, Arteta, we're saying all this. Look what's happened to Cancelo. Look what's happened to how many players has Arteta
Rid of, yeah.
recently in this overhaul. This is what the top managers do. There's no, there's no um there's no yard given for slacking. So if that's the standard, I'm glad United are trying to aspire to it. So yeah, it's a shame because you like the play. He is such a good player.
Do you know what?
Always felt
He's
like a
disappointed
perfect.
me because I really liked him at Dortmund and the stuff he used to do. The smart, intelligent run. He was never really fast, but he was intelligent, and that's what I used to like about him. And he used to play the 1-2, quick 1-2s, and beat the guy through intelligence rather than anything else. And I've never really seen that at United. And maybe I was thinking, Rasmus Højlund coming on, a big striker, someone who can handle the ball and lay off and stuff. It might bring him into the game a bit more, but yeah, I don't know. That bridge is probably burnt.
At the end of the day, he's managing himself rather than letting the club and the manager manage him,
Yeah,
and that's always a recipe for disaster. So, yeah, not really too fast. I just think, yeah, move on, sell
uh,
him, get on, accept you're going to lose a lot of money, and
yeah,
watch him do well at another club because ultimately, a club that ain't maybe as competitive in a not so competitive league, he will thrive again, and he won't survive at any club that's going for Champions Leagues and elite level because he just ain't got the mindset for it.
no, no. And then obviously that takes me to the other winger at United, Antony. Obviously, there's a lot of allegations come about his domestic abuse case, and then Manchester United obviously came with the news that they will be giving him extended leave until everything is resolved. What did you make? What do you make of all of that?
Yeah, I think obviously United have learned from the Greenwood case, and they are showing being a lot more decisive, a lot more better with their communications. This has been rumbling in the background for a few weeks anyway. These allegations didn't just come, last week. They've been
No.
around. Um, and it looks like the he coming from Brazil has has caused United to act. So ultimately, look, I watched Antony enough when he was at Ajax, and especially more from the Brazilian team, is the Olympic team, and he's not played anything like the way I've seen him. It's always been a bit of a head scratcher. Like he seems too afraid to of the ball, too afraid to take people on, always playing safe. Maybe this stuff has been hanging over him for a while.
Mm.
Either way, he's not United class, so another one I'm more than happy with if we just accept a loss, move on. Another bad piece of business, and might be better for the club because at the end of the day, yeah, we might lack composure, but I really think Pelestri has shown more in the few times he comes on. Garnacho deserves to be played a lot more, and let's just move with the youngsters.
Do you think that's what's going to happen with him? Obviously, because he does have some valid, apparently, I think, evidence that isn't the case, and she obviously initiated it. And also the fact, well, the other thing that she was claiming is that when she was abused or etc., apparently a United staff, what's it called, United staff stopped her from going to the doctors, private doctors, etc., and United got involved. So there's a bit of a, I don't know, cloudiness to it.
Yeah, I think the problem is I think there's another allegation from someone else as well.
Yeah,
So that's where and the thing is, you'll never know the ins and out. You'll never know, in these cases where it's one word against someone else, is who the victim is, who the perpetrator is. Uh, it's a messy situation at the end of the day, but it still highlights the fact that these are players where football is the number one priority. They got too many distractions, and it highlights a weakness in the culture at the club. And that's something Ten Hag has to take a share of the blame for because he has got rid of so many players, and still these issues are coming up. So
yeah.
it doesn't look good. But I just think United are just gonna have to accept huge loss and move on.
No,
And
because yeah, it's
I'm not sad because the players just don't look like the United level. Sancho just you hope a bit more because he is if he gets on top of his attitude,
yeah.
his commitment. But I'm not gonna cry over if Antony left or got suspended like Mason,
I
it might
know,
benefit the club. Go spend another 100 million on a proper winger, proper player, United class. Uh,
I know,
even
I know.
all time
I know
frustrated.
one of my friend who will be crying because he was so gassed when Anthony just done a spinneroonie or whatever you want to call it. He was dancing up and down in my house when he was watching the game. But yeah,
But all I know is the amount of messages I've had from opposition fans upset at the suspension says it all. Obviously, it's tongue in cheek, they're taking the mick, but it says a lot when the opposition fans are upset that Antony no longer is available for United. It says a lot.
uh, but what I was gonna say, I lost my no. It's interesting the other point you made about obviously the standards, etc. Because Mike Phelan, ex-assistant, he came out and he mentioned about obviously the standard being low and the team not living up to the high standards set by or demanded by, like say for example, Cristiano Ronaldo. Do you think that's still the case? Is that one of the issues that there is not a high enough standard, and this is why this keeps happening, or maybe the performances keep dropping and fluctuating?
I mean, I've mentioned there's a lot of things there that just doesn't give you the vibe of a strong setup behind the scenes. The captain, we spoke about at length. Is that a captain? Is he someone that's going to inspire you? Moans all the time, blames players. You know, that's for me is a like he's an amazing player, but he is not a leader. You know, and he might run his socks off, he might give effort, but at the end of the day, if he's moaning all the time, looking for fouls, he's not looking to make a difference on the pitch. He's always looking at someone else to help him or make a decision.
Blame.
So that kind of mentality doesn't breed confidence. They've got a lot of South American players that, it's lacking a British core. It's lacking that solidity that you feel like all the better teams have. That it's lacking physicalities. Let's see when it comes to mentality at the club. Yeah, I mean, people say Casemiro because of how well he did last season, and he's a beast. But and he has got the mentality, but it's clear he doesn't want to do the defensive side of the game. He keeps
Yeah.
diving in, he keeps slide tackling, he keeps being reckless. He wants to play slightly freer role now. He doesn't want to be as disciplined. He hasn't got the legs to be as disciplined. But the only one player you look at that United team and you think, yeah, he has the mentality is Martinez. Who else on that team do you really think, yeah, he's got a hard edge, an extra level, a mentality to him. Maybe Onana now, maybe hasn't shown it fully. But Martinez, who else is there? And it's crazy because they spent so much money, they've got so many players in, and it still feels like a lot of the players don't fit in with what's needed to take you to the next level.
No, no.
So it is crazy where United are at.
It's weird. I mean, obviously to finish off, let's do a couple of predictions for this weekend's games. 1 second, I'm just bringing out the game list. Let's start with the first game of the weekend: Wolves versus Liverpool. What's your thoughts and quick predictions? I do.
Yeah, I think this is going to be entertaining goal fest.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go with like 4-2 to Liverpool.
4 to Liverpool. Wow. I mean, I don't. Do you know what my question mark is? My biggest question mark is if Wolves can finish. That's going to be the problem because they create so many click out opportunities. Not even click out, but good opportunities to actually score goals. But whether they can finish or not, and they definitely can't tame that Liverpool attack.
But the thing is,
I think it will be. I think it'll be 3-1 to Liverpool.
yeah, I mean the reason why I think both teams will have lots of chances is Wolves are a very good counter-attacking team. They got counter-attacking players.
Yeah.
Until he started to hit the form that he was hitting a few years ago before he got injured. They're not scoring because they don't start Hwang. He seems to come off the bench and score all the time. So
well, Cunha got his first goal, so hopefully that gives him a bit of confidence.
yeah. So let's see. I mean, but I do think stylistically, Wolves will cause Liverpool problems. But Liverpool's the type of team. They're on that mode. They're on that flow. They got the momentum, and they're confident.
Yeah, it's
They'll
difficult.
blitz anyone. They'll blitz anyone. You'd be a brave man to bet against them when they're on this mode. Eventually someone will catch them out because it's not complete football. They're not completely in control of the game, but they'll score more than the opposition, and it's exciting for everyone.
Did you want to go through every single one, or should we just mention some of the big boys?
It's up to you.
Okay, go on. Let's do quickly. Okay, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace.
Yeah, Villa win.
Yep, 2-0 for me.
Yeah, 2-0. I'll go with that.
Fulham versus Luton. Come on.
Yeah, I think that's a tough fixture. I think that's a tough fixture. I have a feeling it might be a bit of a rout. I'm going 4-0 Fulham.
Oh wow. I wasn't okay. Well, I wasn't expecting that. Listen,
predictions, I want Luton to win, but let's be honest.
I'm gonna be a bit more optimistic.
Fulham at home.
I'm going for a 1-1 draw. All right, I'm just going for it.
Wow.
Yeah. Come on, Luton. Come on.
Fine. I mean, we want Luton to get a result.
Yeah.
Then if you're gonna
United versus Brighton.
Predict them to win. United Brighton. Gosh, that's a tough one. I'm gonna go with 1-0 to United. They're gonna do another sweaty 1-0. They've done two already. Squeeze it out the goals.
I know what's gonna happen. Brighton's gonna dominate, and United's gonna hit them with the hammer. It's just so obvious, and
Right.
the fact that they have home fans is gonna obviously help them a bit more.
Right now,
2-1. I think 2-1 United.
right now, United's biggest hope is a VAR decision going their way.
Brighton always get done by VAR, so yeah. I'm not. Right, Spurs against Sheffield.
I'm gonna say 3-0 Spurs.
2-0. I'll go for another 2-0, not 3. West Ham versus Man City.
Yeah, I'm gonna say 2-1 Man City.
Took my score. I was gonna say 2-1 as well. I'm just thinking about it in the back of my head. Yeah, I think 2-1 as well. Newcastle Brentford.
I think it's gonna be again. I'm gonna go 2-1 Newcastle.
I think it'll be 2-0 Newcastle. I don't think Brentford will score. Bournemouth Chelsea.
You put Mbeumo in your team of the year.
Yeah, he's on the bench this week. Chelsea versus Bournemouth versus Chelsea.
I'm gonna go with the 1-1.
I'm gonna go for a 1-0 Bournemouth win.
That's the one.
Everton versus Arsenal.
It's a tough one, you know.
Yeah, it's really tough. We haven't in the last 5 we've drawn one away at Everton. So
I'm gonna go 2-2 draw.
I'm gonna say 2-1 Arsenal. We're gonna break that curse. Come on. And last game of the week, Nottingham Forest versus Burnley.
This one's another one. No, my word.
It's a good
Good
game.
matchup, you know. Good matchups. I have to say. I'm gonna go with 2-1 Burnley.
Oh, you're going for Burnley.
Yeah.
1-0 Nottingham Forest. Come on. That's what I think it'll be.
Stylistically, I just think Burnley will dominate the possession.
They will, but I just think at home they're gonna get that goal and hang on for their dear life.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, yeah. Either way, not too many controversial ones. You're just going with the Bournemouth punt.
Have you written? Are you writing them down or something?
No.
Watch the video back and you'll see.
Yeah, well, we both might just end up looking a bit stupid about the Man United one and really not giving Brighton as much of a chance.
No, I did give them a chance. I said it'll be 2-1. I can see what's gonna happen, and I said VAR are gonna do them over because they always get done. They got robbed in the same game for like 3 penalties in one game. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised with what's happening.
Let's see. I hope we have a good one. Good.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong.
I mean, quite a lot of the teams are evenly matched. So, let's see.
It's interesting timing as well for a lot of them because obviously of what games they come off and how they've come off, etc. And obviously there was a break in between, so you don't know what's gonna happen. But yeah, we do know what's gonna happen now. We're gonna end the show. For those of you watching, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and yeah, hopefully Adil turns up in the next session. Thank you.
Yeah, and so does Cam.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Cam. Yeah. He will be there.